So, when listening to the Bible verses, yeah, Timothy in 1:7 said that I knew you before you were created in the womb. God said this, this, and this. Do you often feel that that book is written, by Romans after they executed Jesus? And therefore, it sounds to me like guilt. Do you not, like, if there's resurrection, and you've done something and made a mistake and then began to not believe that he's the Son of God, and then something happens to you as a group, then you're going to look at that and be like, we might have made a mistake. It almost sounds like someone was recording repentance. Do you understand what I mean? And it's sort of like, they will call him, Romans called them Father, which is the most closest to source that you can ever get, and it was the most I don't know, I'm trying to use a fancy word here, but it'd be the most intimate thing a child can say to a father. That's basically more like, God, aliens, whoever, if you come back and read this, know that I was definitely worthy. Like, they're almost repenting. These seem like repenting phrases. And to say that God knew you in the womb, that's a bit of a far-fetch, really, isn't it? We are all variables. Life forms are variables. God gets to know you, or the divine, the universe. When you break it down into its layers, you understand it a little bit more. You know, if you want to stop at the function of flowing knowledge into you, you can say, okay, it's a man in a sky somewhere, and that's it. Okay, and then that closes it, which causes you to have a closed mind, and it stops you thinking anymore, and therefore you must follow the book. But the book is a guide to reach you towards God, the divine, the light. And then it goes further, right? So it doesn't want to keep you stuck on this narrative. It would require change, because perhaps this information didn't come through of trying to understand what this is. And the more you understand it, the more it responds back to you and helps you create a society, or, create up into space, right? So you could question it and be like, first off, you believe that it's like human to human. It was a human that created humans, because humans create humans in this process, right? And it must have started from somewhere. Well, then you would think that God must have created humans, but therefore you would then have to say more than one God, because then it's like there's a bird god, which again falls into Egyptian, I don't know what to call that, mythology? No, because it's not a myth. They're close. Not quite. You can show that it's primitive thinking. Although very advanced, it's still very primitive with the patterns. So if I see that birds were created like this, then there must be a bird god that started that off. And then there must be a human god. Oh, but then there must be an owl god. Oh, but then there might be a sun god. But then there might be a moon god. Okay, now there must be other star gods. Oh, then that means there's more gods. Okay, they got somewhere, and then it was not about male or female and gender, and because there would have had to have been male and female to start off. Male and female, do you see how it's a concept that we all look at, yes? Because when we look back in history, and then someone will say, well, we evolved from this. Well, there must be a bacteria god. There must be a cloud god. Right? That's not saying that that's inherently wrong, but you understand that to be obedient to humans following a book that claims obedience, but that inner light in you, and you ignore that for a book and take that as gospel, meaning that is the full story, that means you're being disobedient to this force, whatever it may be. And then there can be no learning, because you're not willing to learn, because you're willing to claim that you know all the answers, which you don't. You have a guidebook. Guiding means that we need to enhance the knowledge. You compress the data. Hey, God, yes. But that would then understand if you enhance it further, that means that certain humans have been collected. And therefore, no man in the sky could ever understand what you were going to be. Because if you evolved, then it knew you were going to evolve this way. And then that's like looking at humans, right? Which would draw a very humanoid god, yes? But what happens if we go to space and then we start evolving and turn into blobs? Then if we were to remove the book, people will come to the conclusion there must be blob gods. Yeah, there must be a blob god over there and a blob god over here. It must be made of cartilage. Yeah, let's draw it like this. Well, they're not inherently wrong, but they'll be looking at it from a starting point. But if you scrub the information that there is any type of evolving, then you would understand that then that's variable. And then you have to then say universe, because that came before. What came first, the chicken or the egg? No, better question. Let's ask it. What came first? The humans or the evolving into humans, and therefore, why would a god that looks godly, that looks like a human, want to create humans into bacteria before creating humans? If you're already a human, you would start with the base point of creating a human and then it would evolve into a blob, right? So we understand then that if we believe that concept, well, then we have to marry it, don't we? And then we know. But if we think about it, we would then say that certain life forms, worthy, bird, exceptional bird. Fucking hell. I'm going to collect that. And then we got to look at sin in another way. What is real sin? Well, is sin really possible? God gets to know you then. The collective are getting to know you as you're getting to know them. It's a two-way process, right? The more you're looking at something that is heavenly, heavenly is looking in at you. And it gets to know you. And as it does, you are allowing it to shape you, and you are also shaping it. Why? Because there are two forces now coming together. And how does this balance work? How do we... Now we're cradling. Part divine, part your essence, part its teachings with a bit of yours. What's that creating now? What's that really transpiring into? And then what is this force? Well, it's not human. I mean, if you're going to go to heaven and start looking around for a human, yeah, you'll see some humans, I'm sure. But to say that that is everything, like God, godly, everything, all of it, that's the furthest thing from the truth. Because then you'll just be looking at that. But you'll know that there's more behind all of that when you move all of that away. And the more you go back, the more you go back. What is that essence? Well, it doesn't look like a human. Then if you could translate it, were you destined to ever make a human? It'd be like, fuck no, I didn't know. Trial and error. Little bit of this, little bit of that, and out you popped. You know, a bit like giving birth. Do you have any idea what your kids are going to look like? Not really. But you understand a little bit. Bit of this, bit of that. It sort of looks like great-grandpa. A little, maybe not. It can't possibly look like just like grandfather because there's now a new genetic being brought in. And your own evolution in your body's going, what the fuck is all this? And on the other side, it's going, what the fuck is all of this shit? Oh, wow, we can do so much with this. Ooh. If we bind both of this together, I'll mix you a bit of this with a bit of this. It's like they're playing cards. It's like your DNA is playing cards with two family bloodlines, right? Have you got an ace? Fish. Have you got a 9 of hearts? Yes, I do. I trade it for you. All right. What are you going to give me in return? Nothing. Guess my cards. So you'll understand then that, and then where's it gonna end up? And if we are in God's image, then that's kind of weird because we're going to evolve. And what we mean to say that all of these are God's image? We say, fuck no. Whatever will be, will be. You know, if I give you more time, you'll evolve a bit more. Where does it end? Fuck if I know. I only got a rough guess as to where it goes. Rough calculation. Rest of it, no idea. Does it work? Mix it with this one? Yeah, that works. Does this one work? No. And then there's sin. Sin is a funny thing. And we talk about redemption. Well, redemption and sin, that's a weird thing, isn't it? Very strange. Well, we look at sin, and we'll say that God will not reject anyone that commits sin. Want to bet? Do you want to bet? I mean, this kind of works out in the whole solar system if we pay attention. But again, we're in this limited bandwidth. God, so many sensors blocked off. Stuff we can see, stuff we can't see. Stuff we know is there because we're watching the stuff we can see interact with this stuff we can't see. Oh, it's very interesting. How confusing is all of that? But it's reacting with this. Now, we understand that when it reacts this way versus that way, well, this happens. Whoa. How's it going to go from there? I don't know. Let's mix with it and find out. Anyway, but we got this strange thing like prisons, yeah? So we got prisons, by and large. Okay. How can you redeem yourself? How can people redeem themselves? And that's redemption. People go to prison and then what? Go back to prison and back to prison and back to prison and keep doing this stuff that might be a bit below par. Oof. That's not really redemption, is it? Would you want to collect that? Well, that's predictable. But yet the one that goes to that, falls into that, and then comes out of that and is walking on the path of redemption and goes on to become something. I mean, that's worth leaning into, right? Like, whoa. Why did you do that and they don't? What is that? Or you're leaning in. Fucking hell. Is heaven's like this? Well, it must be. Or is it just looks? I mean, just humanoid? No, I think it likes variable. I think it prefers a variable. Not everything to all be the same in its image. Because again, there must be a very distorted mirror it's looking into. Yeah, I think it might be a star. Alright? Oh wait, when I move the mirror like this, now I look like a planet. Okay? Now I look like a piece of hydrogen, now a bit of helium. Now a bit of carbon, a bit of oxygen. Oh, I'm also human. And I'm also alien. And many aliens. And lots of aliens. Also water. Oh, and when I come together like this, I can also be this. And this. And this. Who would have known? I'd have thought I was just a blob. This. This. Now this. I mean, it's a very distorted image, right? And it would almost then lead you to believe that, man, that's one confused God then. Or is that deliberate? And God being a human. Oh, some of the humans that have been collected. Okay. Maybe they're trying to pass a message because they're better teachers. First off, universal. Looks very scary. Oh my God, it doesn't look like a human. Higher force, higher power. Brr, scary. But now you've collected a human. Human not so scared. Actually, it's a bit more like this. We're trying to combine this with this. The message comes through. That must be God. Is it? You're not questioning it. God doesn't want you to question. What the? That defeats the object of giving you a question in mind in the first place. Bad humans, first thing, first breath. Where the fucking hell am I? Why am I here? What is the purpose of all of this? I mean, seems a bit weird, doesn't it? It's like saying that God wants you to stay in one place. Okay. Freedom is not okay. Well, you got some legs. You can walk. You can crawl. Whatever. You can run. Man. Okay, now. Gonna give you a mind that questions, but you're not allowed to question. Wait, what? I'm confused even more so on that. And then why would it give you a mind that allows you to question more so than what animals? Animals couldn't give a shit. They don't care. Fucking hell. Something flying through the sky. No recollection to it. Maybe they'll look up at it. Yeah, they don't care. Big asteroid. Doomsday. Every life form. Gonna go. The animal's gonna look at you like, what? Are you predator? Oh, am I gonna hunt you? That's about as much as it can do. Humans can look at that, fucking study it, pick it up, look at it, take it apart, fix it, destroy it. Questioning. Question. What happens if that flying thing in the sky hits into planet? Question. Well, we go and question it, and then what happens? Well, that's the end of us. Another question. What could that question be? Animals, do you want to have a go? Gotta take that as a no? Yeah? Maybe? You'll think about it. What are you doing? What are you actually doing? Do you even know what you're doing? Do I even know what I'm doing? Well, yeah, humans tend to. Huh. Can I stop that asteroid? Dunno. What would I need to stop it? Well, I wonder if I can throw something at it. Oh, nope, that didn't work. Can I blow it up? That also didn't work. Can I mess around with its gravitational influences using this, further this, and land a rocket on it and fly it off out the way? That worked much better. Oh, so yeah, I guess the answer is yeah, we can. What do I need in order to be successful at this? Questions. Ooh, the bloody questions, right? And that's disobedience to question. Fucking hell. Universal power. Go up and meet it. What did you do with that question in mind I gave you? Well, here's the thing. I thought you didn't want me to question it. Yeah, gotta be kidding me, ain't you? How can you use something or work with something that you don't question and you don't know it? But don't know it is lack of questioning, isn't it? Lack of asking those questions, figuring it out, working it out, staying stuck on a narrative when there's whole beyond bottomless Mariana Trenches times a billion and times it by the universe a few thousand cycles and then times that by another billion and another few thousand universal cycles and you might be just pricking it with a pin. I mean, and then how many variations are there of life? And then which way does it go? Or if it's more questioning or less questioning, we need to add in a bit more intelligence. Clearly, you need to add in a bit more intelligence here. Well, why is that? Well, give your mind to question and you are saying that you shouldn't question. Kind of confused. A lot. But no. And then the Romans trying to redeem themselves, right? Only after something happens. That's a bit animalistic, right? So, animals will not do anything. Sit there staring at the meteorite, right? Meteorite, right? I like that. Just having a look at it. You know. Alright, gonna go over here and eat something. Might dig a hole and have a shit if I'm a rabbit. Or might just reproduct with her. Oh, and that one. And maybe that one times 700. And then just meteorite. That's been a long time coming. Anyway. And then a meteorite comes around. And then it starts breaking into the atmosphere, right? That's like, you know, Rabbit's been seeing this the whole time. Bat a fucking eyelid. Didn't even question it. It comes through the atmosphere. Well, not much yet. But it's making quite a racket. Well, maybe that's going to scare me a little bit, but I still don't do a shit. And it smacks the planet. Boom. And then, well, look at all the animals. In 2 by 2 they go. Start moving around everywhere. They no longer eat each other. Absolute frenzy. Planet shaking in different places. Now things are really happening. And now maybe the animals are just slightly starting to question all of this stuff. Well, are we safe anymore? And then they start to do things like migrate, and then they begin to evolve. But where does that thinking go? That's more so unlocked in humans, but not animals. Shit me. Until the fucking thing has landed on the fucking planet. Then they're going to do something about it, to the aftermath. Whereas humans can do something in hindsight. By thinking in hindsight, by questioning these things. Well, they can prevent that from ever landing on the planet. Or, better still, what the hell is it made of, this? Can we land it on the planet safely enough that it doesn't fuck everything up? Well, how could we do that? Question. Why, yes we can. Oh, fucking hell. It's like landing planes. It's like skimming fucking stones. But what are we going to do now? It's at Mariana Trench. Fuck. I mean, shit me. You can do a lot with these questioning, right? And just by questioning 2 things with, what, doomsday events. Well, fucking hell. Something just popped in the brain. Where did that come from? Well, it must have been because I thought about it. Got a little bit of thinking and a little bit of teaching from this thing called Divine Force. Oh, bloody hell. And I guess the less fearful you are, because that's what it stems down to when we want to see a god looking like us. Put your mask on, universe, please. Look like a human, because if not, I don't think I'll be able to handle it. See the beings. Oh, I recognize you. You sort of look humanoid, I guess. Weird, in a godly sense. That's one level. Don't want to stay there, do you? Nice. Very good, but there is a rest of a whole fucking, empire to explore behind you. Nice talking to you, and well done you. Go beyond that, and there's more. Even more. But there again, you're kind of cool with this process now, and then you're really jumping back in the layers, aren't you? Bloody hell. People down here thought it was just you. I know. Been trying to give them a message, but they don't question anything. Although they're meant to question, but they don't question. Now all of a sudden we're questioning it. It's an interesting thing. Walking in obedience is disobedience to the very force that gave you the question in mind in the first place. Look it out. It's a tool. Use it. It's going to be off limits. Anywhere off limits? I don't think so. Explored that fucking mind well over. I mean, the fear button must be like fucking smudged out by now. It's been pressed so many times, man. What the hell is that feeling? Oh, I can remember nostalgia. What fear used to feel like. Now, I don't even get so much as a spike. Oh, go on then. I wish it excited me like it used to. Oh, anyway. Oh, my days. But yeah. So that much questioning over that. That's been rehearsed. There are so many ways to look at this. And where does our thinking come from? Well, it evolves. It should evolve. Why did the Egyptians think the way they did? Well, it didn't mean that anything that they thought up was irrelevant. It's still part of it. It just means that they got you into the subject. And then refine. Refine. Oh, okay, yeah, I get this now. And then more refinement. Doesn't mean that the Egyptians didn't know what they were talking about. What about the ones before? No, it's the journey, right? It's the journey. It's the way it had to happen. Can't get stuck. The ink is still being wrote on religion, and it's interesting. Yeah, very interesting. There's all the things that are being spoke about now. Interesting. But yeah, Romans said this, verse, chapter, something or other, and then I'm like, smells like guilt, fear, and something triggered that speaking. And who are they talking to? Father, forgive us. Father, this. Very manly said. Weird. Hermaphrodite. Woo. And then, can't accept anything else, right? And the amount of different variations that there are in this. So, yeah, that's interesting. Multiple different versions of a god. Again, the Egyptians sort of erred on this with, different attire. Because they thought that there would be gods for these. Yes, I'm sure there would, but, show a bird to a piece of bacteria. That bacteria is going to shit itself. Fear, I hope you've accelerated all of this. They like things that are like wormy. Bit weird. Anyway, if it could see it, I mean, it might make it into a food source, but still, that would be pretty something, right? Like, come here, amino acids. Come here, little building blocks, come on. I mean, to a human, that's going to be quite fearful, but to another amino acid that was highly enlightened, it's very unlikely, but it's funny to think it, that'd calm it down a bit more. But yet, the amino acid that is fearless, that can look at humans and know, I want to be that one day. Because technically, that's what it was thinking, wasn't it? It was driving force. I've got to be one of them one day. And all the other little building blocks were like, but it all comes together, right? And then look at what it did. But again, if this one was fearless and could look back at humans, wouldn't it relay a message for you? But it would be like looking at just you, the amino acid, like, I don't know, whatever it may be, bacteria or a single cell, looking back at you and thinking, are you my father? And I sort of dressing up as a bacteria. Yes.
And there's only you?
And not forgetting that there's things going on behind. And there could be things going on behind that. And behind that. And behind that. Just like there are things going on in front of you. And before you. And what comes after? Well, us. Well, I. That just doesn't fit. I am, said me and all of the little atoms buzzing around my body. And the organs.
What about us?
Oh, come on, ego now. Just give my lung an ego death. Come on. I meant we. Oh, this could be crazy, but whatever. So yeah, no, I don't know. That particular one by the Romans seems a little bit more something happened. And I wonder what shifted their behavior. And then is history going to repeat itself? Another divine one comes down. Mingles with humans sort of thing. Like, yo, what's going on? Probably not quite like that. Sort of speaks some wisdom and then, you know, certain people in the empire are like, right, we can't have this. Off with their bananas. Or heads. Either or. And then something happens after they do that. Massive. Like, it's all going destructive for me now, son. Oh, what are we going to do? I've left you a curse. Loads of things start happening, and then it's like, oh, guilt, and start thinking about it, and maybe the next generation start thinking about it, and we should have listened. Should we start a new Bible? Okay. And then someone's going to be there with a pen and ink, like, go on, you were saying. Father, please forgive me. Father, please forgive me. Okay. So this one's going to be Starmer. Chapter 1, something 8. If only we would have listened. No, I don't know. Just making this up because it's funny. In that way. House of Lords said this. Chapter 7, I'm sorry, but it is. It's a little bit like that. And then if something were to happen, that would be the sort of... It feels like the sort of processing that happens. And it doesn't disprove or prove. In fact, it probably proves more that something happened which shifted the hard Romans from believing near enough nothing into believing something. I mean, did it turn skeptics into believers pretty quickly? And were there repercussions? And then it was, well, maybe I'm this type and I'm trying to seek some redemption, so maybe we should go. And that is redemption, not said, not bought, but lived redemption. That they started to evolve this mindset. And then perhaps the blows were a lot less towards this redemption arc. And then that would be like, you know, the scales beginning to balance themselves into the next ones, which questioned what they were doing. Looking back, they were questioning it. And then it should teach you to question before next time, right? If you adjust things, as opposed to after. Doesn't it? As opposed to that power, right? Question. And then redemption in the questioning. And it's okay to be a hypocrite. It's absolutely fine because that is redemption, isn't it? Doing something that you believe to be correct and then you begin to adjust. You know, bravo. If I had a spare hand, I'd clap. So, you know, one is occupied at the moment. Yeah, this one's free. I suppose I can give it a little clap. Well done, you. Well done. Woo. Because that is redemption. Lived. Acted. Whereas the other ones were like, nope, we did it, and that was it. And the others were like, maybe we shouldn't have done that. Perhaps that wasn't a good idea. Have you seen this? And then what sociology is driving that psychology that would make a group like Romans sort of back up a little bit, knock the wind out of their sails, let's say, and they begin to redeem themselves. Not perfectly, but still. Now, if you were a force of the universe, would you collect those ones that you just destroyed, and did you know them? Not really. Well, that was unexpected. I mean, if you knew that it was going to wipe out, you know, going to send Jesus. Look, I know you're going to be back very soon, if the tale be true. I know you're going to be back soon. So why are you sending me there then? So that they can wipe you out and learn a lesson. Obviously. But you've given me like 90 years worth of stuff to talk. Well, maybe I better make you talk quicker. I'm going to put you 40 years in the wilderness as well. So I only need you to just say that little tiny piece. Yeah, you get what I mean? Maybe 30 years, whatever it was. I don't know about that. He spoke out, and then I guess his safety. It was probably a way that he was more safer if he followed the herd. It was more lethal when he stood up. I guess Thomas Paine is the one that says this well, isn't it? When reason and common sense is gone, don't argue with it. Why? That's like administering medicine to the dead, dear boy. And it is, probably. And then it's another test to see whether anything has actually been learned from any of those. But again, I don't know. Depends how you look at the book. Depends how you look at it. It seems like confessions. Yeah. It does seem like a confession. Without saying it, but saying it slightly, maybe we shouldn't have done that. After all, there is something. I mean, even on the day of his execution, there was Jesus' execution, whether a story or not, whatever else. There were some changes. Something happened, and it blew people's minds, enough for them to sort of go, oh shit. Even the onlookers, the ones that didn't do anything, but were just there, felt powerless, even they questioned it. Whoa. Perhaps we shouldn't have stood back while that happened. Yeah, because then people start quoting Jesus and how Jesus was remembered. Jesus wasn't remembered because he stood out in the crowd. No, these people were lost to history. No, something happened that imprinted something into everybody's minds like, we might have fucked up here. And if you don't question that, fucking hell. Ooh, dangerous. You're gonna fucking... don't make the same mistakes twice, right? And does God truly know? What are you saying, God? You're gonna say no? What about you, universe? Man, a fucking clue. Alright. Well, guess not. Rough guess, right? It's predictable when people play predictable, but when it's all unpredictable and you have the variables stand up, fucking hell, it's all off then, isn't it? Interesting. Belief systems get knocked. So, what does God then do then through vessels? Is it disruption, or is it hitting at people's belief systems? And that's what causes the... That's interesting. You should change. Get to the middle. Walk the path. Come on. And then usually it takes one of those big events that happen. I guess you get this with the story of Noah. You're fucking crazy. Whatever. I don't know if that's walking in obedience or not, but I would say that's walking in disobedience to humans, but it's walking in obedience to something higher. So, that is something, isn't it? And are we making history right now? Are we writing another Bible right now? Well, yes, of course. We're always writing Bibles. Maybe they're called history books now, but still a Bible. Still a belief. I believe in life. That just sounds fucking stupid, doesn't it? I believe in life. But I believe in the afterlife. Do you believe in your life? No. Wait, you're a bit strange. I believe in life, but I'm a bit unsure about the afterlife. Fucking hell, my son. It's temporal here. You believe in the afterlife? I definitely do. But in a different way to how you believe it. What about reincarnation? Fuck that. What, come back here? Yay! Oh, fucking hell, I don't think that shit was enough. Give me it again. Beam me down, Goddy. Fucking, I don't know about that. So, but yeah, resurrection ever be a thing? Or is it resurrection in the way you understand it? And is it that God comes back? Or could God send messengers? There's a difference. Or could God create messengers? Or does God work with something? And when we talk about God, let's go universal power. There are fucking layers to this. Many layers. Many fucking layers. It's more than an onion. Just when you get comfortable with one thing, it's time to shift again. There's more. Oh yeah, sunshine. There's much more. Oh, I had a comfy chair. Well, okay, let's go. Has it got wheels? It does. They won't work in this next place. Hi, are we going to float? Yeah. Oh, okay then. Yeah, coming closer and closer to that power, isn't it the more pure you are? And then the more trustworthy you are. I mean, sort of wait here, son. That's what you believe. I don't think you'll handle anymore. Next layer, next layer, next layer, next layer, next layer. Where do you want to be? What, just in this bit? Oh, that's good. Next version up. Next version up. We often think that we're born into power, don't we? And that's another thing that comes with the Romans, sort of like being born in this power, sort of kind of weird. God knew you before you were born. You ever played this game called Monopoly? It wasn't invented. There's a game called Monopoly, and that's like go past go and collect your £200. Whatever. When you pass go, it defeats the object of even fucking living, doesn't it? I knew you. I shaped you. I think it sounds better. I was molding you as you went. And sometimes these molds work out, and sometimes they just don't. And it doesn't mean that anyone can't be redeemed. Not at all. I see it in a much more different way. I'm not following anything from here or looking at anything else. I see it that you can make a lot of mistakes. Sure. When you're willing to work with this thing. I think it then starts to grade you on that. I guess that is a kind of disobedience in obedience sort of way. Gosh, so two-faced, it's unbelievable. No, they're sort of judge. It feels so natural, and it doesn't feel like you're being used or manipulated. It feels very authentic. Like I said, in some of these things, it's like, you know what grief feels like. And it's not compared to grief. It's the feeling of grief that you understand it when you go through it a lot more, to the point where you could, have an emotional response, or perhaps you don't do that, but you've got your go through the grief stages. But if it's someone else, you understand it, you get it, you feel for the person, but you're not in it. You're not crying and freaking out or going through the grief stages, but you're just sort of like, that sucks. And you sort of feel that and think, I guess the cliche thing is, I just don't know what to say. If you ever need anything, that sort of cliche stuff. Oh, what cliche. Anyway, so, it's a bit like this with, I guess, spirituality, ancestor, God. But there are more than just that. Universe. When you align to it, you really feel it. Not negative, positive, but everybody understands the grief, and not everybody understands positivity the same way, because we're all so variable on that. Oh, I like doing this. Wish I could do this all the time. Okay, and you? Nah, I don't like that. I love doing this. Wish I could do this all the time. Right. And I love doing... What about grief? Oh, yeah, everyone's trying to explain the same emotion, but they all act the same, near enough, in that sort of stages. It's near enough identical sort of feeling. It almost seems it. In some, in most. And that religious understanding of spirituality is, I'm going to say it's the same The same essence is there. And when you've gone through it yourself, you know it. Not all of it, not I know it all, but you know the feeling. And when someone else has gone through it, they also sort of like, they nod. Why? Because they get that and they trust it because it's so real. It's so powerful. And anyone that hasn't, are sort of like, I can kind of see it, but I'm just not feeling it. Oh, well, tell me what it feels like. Well, it's a bit like the Christmas spirit, really. Sort of presence. What, as in presents? No, as in the presents, House full of decorations? Okay, yeah. And then all of a sudden, house with no decorations, except for one. And then it looks so empty and hollow. Oh, like something's missing. Yeah, presents. And then, so analyzing you. Well, it knows it's going to shape something. Sure, it's going to figure out how your body's going to go, give or take. Combine that with what it thought versus what's actually possible versus what actually turned out. Then it rewrites the script. Then, whatever this force is, then knows. So, it first has a few tries, evolution. Go to space, it might sort of make a sort of weird cartilage in the beginning, get to grips. That's what it thought it understood. Perhaps it didn't go that way, but it managed to build something from that. That's the God Force, the true God Force, not a man, not humanoid. The force beyond all of that. Go back further. And is there anything beyond that? Let's just deal with this bit first before we dive too deep, because I might lose you. I gotta walk you backwards through it. And it's even if you're seeing the layers correctly. What order? Well, I don't fucking know. Anyway, so it begins to make something that's, well, that's kind of alright, I guess. That works. It's not what I had in mind, but it's working. Now, can I refine this? Oh, yes, I can. Oh, my days. Look at that. Beautiful, perfect. Enough. It will do. Okay, I'm going to remember that. That is the one. We'll just try it like this. Yeah, it doesn't really work. Sort of like this. No. Okay, it definitely feels like this sort of baseline for life. To sustain it in the best way possible up in space is this one. Okay, all right, we can write this one in. Yeah, we're going to write this one in. And going forwards, this is how this is going to pan out with slight variations as I process with this. All right. How's that going to turn out? Fuck knows. No idea. We'll see when we get there. Bit more tweaking. Oh, this is a little bit... yeah, okay, this one seems to fit better. Okay, we'll go over to this one. All right. Let's write this one in. Okay, scrub that one out. We'll keep that one. We'll remember it sort of work, but we'll keep with this one. How did that evolve? Pretty good. How did that evolve? Not too well. Okay, go back to script. Okay, all right. So there is an expectation. Here's how I think it's going to go. And then you do it, and then it goes like this. Okay, second time round, well, it was probably quicker to do it this way, actually. Baseline, not what expected, but got you on the journey to completion of what you were expecting. That's better than I expected. Oh. Spoke from the universal heart there, sir. Anyway, and then, yeah. Well, the rest is literally history, quite literally. And then, if we go to space, we start looking blobby, losing bone matter and everything else. Fuck, how do we fit that in? Well, we were created in God's image. Yeah, kinda. One of. An image in an image, maybe. It was fucking great, it was. Steady on. I mean, I had loads of pots on the go. And then that force beyond there, well, it's many different things. To say it's one thing, no. Divot. A divot. It can be anything. Well, if it knows how to be those things. Depends how it sees itself in multiple different versions. And where does that end? Those possibilities are immense. And then, could you tell it to be something? Add a bit of thought to it? It would probably be like, if it could speak to you. Unless you could translate it, which you would work to translate. Wouldn't you work to have a force like that you don't understand, that could be anything, but it doesn't know what it is? Ask it what it is. It's a variation of things. But it's none of those things either, because it had to give itself a piece of you to let you roam for free while molding you to a certain degree, because that's just how it works here. Without these sort of tweaks, it just doesn't quite work. Anyone want to have a go at that? And then when you're in that sort of meh, well, it can't predict you. Because if it could predict you, there would be no need for any variations, would there? Whoa. But what about souls? Yes, and souls are impressioned by what exactly? Now we get somewhere. Well, it's a little bit of this, little bit of that, little bit of this, little bit of those. Yeah, many different cycles. Where are those cycles going to go? Not really sure. Or what happens if you double those cycles with the information and off you go again, and then remember the information that you have to condense it? No idea. If you already knew, what would be the point? Yeah? Because you would already know. You just calculate it. There's a little bit, there you go, off you go, calculate. There. You already have answer. But no, this has to be worked out before you can put it into a calculator. Yeah? You gotta understand sums first. How long did that take? All this long? Well, I made a calculator. What's all of that? It's a collection of all of those answers versus punching in this. Wait, what? You mean to tell me that we just spent the whole of human history for this long learning equations, and you've just put it in the machine? Yeah, but the machine couldn't be made first. You had to learn all of the numbers first, and then you make the machine, and then you can punch out this, and this. Now I can calculate before the calculator that 2 and 2 is going to be fucking 4. Meh. Fucking hell. I calculated that before I even picked up a calculator. So who's calculating who in this situation? But you needed all of that stuff in order to make the calculator. If not, it's like making a machine before you needed machines. I mean, fucking hell, might as well. Might need that one day. Fuck knows what it is. It's like having the answers before you thought about... Yeah, anyway, never mind. Yeah. So it would defeat the object of having to... If we were going backwards... It'd be like, first comes the calculator, and then we'd have to understand how the calculator calculates, and then we'd have to work it out backwards to get the answer. How do we not know that isn't the right way? It fucking ain't. It is this way. We get a little bit way. Whoa. Which way's forwards and backwards? Okay. I should have saved that one for past times, right? Come down and said it to the Egyptians. Hey, Pharaoh, which way is what? Swinging ball. Swinging... Wait, you got that from that? Yeah. And if I swing this ball into rock and put in something in front of it, it will act like a pin. Leave it to your thoughts. I mean, that would be pretty funny, wouldn't it? Wrecking ball. Okay. So yeah, you have to learn all of these equations, and then you make a calculator, and you've got to work out the answers from the equations to give the calculator the equations and the answers. No one ever got far by getting all the answers. Yes, Terry. Miss, calculators did. Get out of my class. What? It's true. Calculators got fucking clever, and they didn't learn a fucking thing. When they say that they did learn. No, they fucking didn't. You had to give them the equation and the answer. It's like the calculator going, what's 1 add 1? Well, you're called a calculator for a reason, not a questioner. Now be obedient, son of a bitch. Okay, right, so it needs to know the answers, and it's the same with AI. Kind of already got to know the answers, really, hasn't it, in order to formulate the equations. Yeah, but it's intelligent these days. Okay, yes, shades of grey. We've come a long way from the calculator, but still. Digital watch, got to tell it the time first. Got to teach it time. Give it all those equations for it to give you the answer all the time. Oh, yeah, it's this time. What's the time? This. And this. Yeah, so kind of would defeat the object of life, really, wouldn't it? Why are we here? Why did the universe make us? Well, I think we're kind of narrowing that question, and is that an ongoing question? I don't know. Where's it going? Fuck knows. How advanced can you get? Who knows? Can we translate that force there? Yes. Can you give it some information, some input? Can you learn about that force there and understand life forms and planets and everything else? And can you teach it biomes? What can you think up? How much room you got? It's infinity. Okay then. Go on then. I've got to ask one more thing. What's that then? Just saying if. This one here, yeah? Can you put me there? Of course I can do that. I need this much data. Do you think you can do that? Oh, I think I can help you remember that as you journey. Might be able to speed up the collective a little bit. What happens if this happens? Well, then you're going to do this. I suppose I could do that. Which might get the same reaction anyway. Fail safe, maybe? Maybe if it goes like this, can you go like this and maybe tweak it a little bit like this? We've got a theory. Well, you love human behavior. Well, step on up. Well, when it's repeated calculation, I mean, that's pretty easy. Challenging is to try and think outside the box, but not the box, the grooves. What can you think up that's not already been thought? Now that is a question. Anyway, but yeah, that would be seeing things in multiple ways. So no, I don't know, not criticizing and not really judging. Maybe I am. But it's just looking at it from another way, another perspective, and I think we're making it today. Making another one. Can you imagine it with more modern names, but these modern names will become ancient if someone's writing it down? Terry, I don't know, chapter 1, verse 600, said, this, and this, and this, and this, followed by this. But it'd probably be done digitally these days. Followed by a reaction. What was the reaction? This, and this. And then they said, Lord said, this, and this. Followed by government response, that, and that. But then Peter over there said this, and this. And then Terry said, thou shalt not be these and that and those. Interesting. Yeah, there we are. I'm going to leave this one here. So, no, it sort of sounds to me, I think it more is, that something happened to the Romans. It shifted their belief system rapidly. It changed, so I believe then their outer reality was altered, and this changed their inner reality, and maybe it was a coincidence. A lot of coincidences have happened on this fucking planet, wouldn't you say so? Oh, yes, they have. Oh, it's beautiful. It's too many to be true. Now you're getting there. Question it. Don't question it. Okay, question it. Okay, don't question it. No, question it. Do it. Why not? You might as well. Have a go. So, yeah. But again, ain't about what I think. It's about what you think. And right nor wrong, still a thought nonetheless. Mwah.